Are you ready to apply to speak at FinCon 22? We are the FinCon team here, want to give you everything you need to know about how to do that, when to do that, and what we're looking for when we're selecting our breakout speakers for FinCon 22. As a reminder, our content is always going to be focused around how to help others create better content, how to help them grow their audience, and then how to monetize the content that they're creating. And we feel like breakout sessions at our events are a great opportunity for personal finance and FinCon community members to be present at the event, to offer peer-to-peer learning, and to share where they've been in their journey and where they're going with people who are maybe a few steps behind them.
One thing that you want to keep in mind is that FinCon is a digital marketing event. So our sessions are going to primarily focus on how, as Libby mentioned before, you create better content, grow your audience, and profit from that content. We do have a few sessions that are about money conversations, quick money talks where you can get the actual money conversations. Well, that works.
Yeah.
That's why we called it that,
Yeah.
where you can have the actual money conversations. But the majority of our sessions are going to be focused on how you are working on your own platform.
Right. And as you're getting ready to speak and prepare your presentation, the place that you can go to find all the details you need to know, what we're sharing today plus more, is finconexpo.com/speak. That has all the details. It has the application. It explains all kinds of stuff that you might be interested in knowing. One thing we're talking about today is these breakout sessions. We're not talking about big ideas or main stage. This is a call for breakout session speakers. And all of those will be presented live in Orlando during our event, September 7th through the 10th of 2022. Jessica, tell us a little bit more about the types of tracks that we have in sessions and whether, who's speaking in those.
Sure. So we have about 12 tracks total. We've got podcasting, video, blogging, social media. We've got things like freelancing and entrepreneurship track, journalism, advisor, brand and industry track, money conversations, and quick money talks. So there are a lot of ways that you can get involved in speaking at FinCon 22. We have both single speaker tracks, meaning these talks are given by individuals and are single speakers, or we have discussion panels, which include a moderator and 4 panelists. And our sessions can be anywhere from beginner to advanced.
And as a reminder, if you go to that finconexpo.com/speak, there's a listing of the tracks, a description for those, and examples of previous talks from other years of this event. Within most of those tracks, like blogging, podcasting, YouTubing, all that, the content of those is really going to be centered around creating better content, growing your audience, and profiting from that content. That's for most of our session types. But there is the quick money talks and the money conversations, which Jessica already mentioned, that are a little bit different. Jessica, tell us the difference with those.
So these are an opportunity for us to talk about the money topics that a lot of you are creating content around. These are, especially the money conversations, those are enlightening, educational, sometimes challenging discussions about financial topics and issues that affect people both inside and outside of your typical sphere of influence. So the goal of those is to help creators become aware of others' diverse perspectives and their life experiences so that you in turn can then go and create better personal finance. So some examples of this that we've done in the past, like women in money, the wealth gap, universal basic income, overcoming trauma and becoming financially resilient because of that, kids and money, retirement, money, emotions, and psychology. All of those fall into the money conversations track. But we also have the quick money talks track. And so that is coming back again this year, and it provides short, focused content on important, timely, and emerging topics in personal finance and the investing space. So like cryptocurrency, financial literacy, policy and education initiatives, fintech developments, all of those things kind of fall under the umbrella of the quick money talks track. So there are a lot of ways to have conversations about money, from high level all the way down to very technical discussions about it. And that's what both of those tracks provide for us.
When we talk about applications each year, we have a lot of people apply. And like Jessica mentioned, you can apply for more than once. You can apply to be on a panel. You can apply to be a single speaker. Jessica, tell us a little bit about like what it looks like when it comes to all the people that are applying each year.
So yeah, we typically have around hundreds of people apply to speak, but don't let that discourage you, because a lot of people applying to speak means a lot of topics are being covered. So each year there are different reasons that we and the speaker committee select the topics that are selected. It can range from this is something we haven't covered in a while to this is something people wanted to go deeper in from last year. It could be a million different things. So don't let the fact that we have a lot of people apply discourage you from speaking and submitting, and you never know what's going to happen from year to year.
Breakout session speakers are selected by the Speaker Selection Committee, which is a diverse group of FinCon community members with expertise in a variety of content creation platforms and niches. Just to give you a little insight into that group, for FinCon 21, it was made up of 6 people, plus the FinCon team members. It included bloggers, podcasters, a YouTuber, advisor, and freelancers. And because diverse representation is really important to us, the group included 7 female and 1 male and 4 people of color. So that group changes from year to year, and it is their responsibility to go through all of the applications and make decisions about what content is going to be presented and who's going to be presenting it.
So sometimes we get asked, like, what are they looking for? How do they decide who is going to speak that year or what topics are decided? So one of the things that they're looking for is, does it fit within our pillars of content creation, growing your audience, and profiting from your platform? So does it go under that create, promote, profit pillar? Does it meet the needs of the community and attendees and relevant topics that they've told us via survey that they're looking for at the event? Also, we're looking at the person who submitted the proposal. We're saying, are they actually an authority in this area? We're checking out their social media platforms. We're checking out their websites, their blogs, their podcasts. So they are going through trying to make sure that the people who speak actually are an authority on this subject and need to be speaking on this subject. They're also looking to see if they have attended FinCon before or are in the personal finance space or in the personal finance adjacent space. So one of the things is we get a lot of people who just want to speak and are on kind of a speaker circuit who apply. But one of the things that we ask of speakers at FinCon is to actually be a part of the community. That doesn't mean you have to have been to FinCon before, but it means that you're willing to do things that we're asking of you, like mentoring. We're asking of them also to come to the speaker pro mixer with all the speakers, all the pro pass holders, all the brands. So we're looking for people who actually want to engage at the event and not just get up on a stage and go home. That is very important to us. So all of those things are considered whenever we're looking at all of the people who submit to speak, and we're weighing them against each other.
Yeah, and when you come in and you apply to speak via the form at finconexpo.com/speak, it's going to have you make a proposal. And, we talk about like what makes a good proposal. Like one thing is like identifying, is your session you're wanting to teach, what experience level is it for? Is it for beginner, intermediate, or experienced creators? Have you made a compelling title that helps people when they read it, they know what they're going to be getting? Same with the description. Does your description include actionable steps and tools so that the committee knows when someone goes to this session, they're going to walk away knowing how to do X, Y, Z, knowing how to create better content, grow their audience, or make money from it? Are you being explicit in what an attendee is going to get from your session? I think some people feel like I can't submit something that's super basic about like how to edit a podcast really well. I need to do something that's incredibly niche, like how to edit a podcast really well while living in my van out in the West with no internet service. I think like, tell me a little bit about that, because I feel like there's this myth that it's like, it's got to be this super niche, like really intense, like thing that is going to blow people away, when really it might be something different that's more valuable.
So keep in mind that FinCon is an annual event, and a lot of people attend FinCon for the first time every year. So there are some topics that are going to always be a need for FinCon, especially on the beginner level, because those people are just starting out. So if we're talking about, like you use podcasting as an example, there's always going to be a need for getting started in podcasting. Because even if you are currently blogging or YouTubing and you decide to podcast, you need to know the basics. So that means that there's also a need for different people to cover that topic from year to year. It does not need to be the same person because everybody has different topics. There are advanced levels of content that we need also to swing the pendulum there. There are advanced levels of content that we need, but there is like a super level of advanced niche content that is probably too much for us. because we're also talking to a broader personal finance space. If you are a podcaster solely, since we're still on that one, and you want to go super niche like that, then a podcasting event might be more of what you need, where everything is all podcasting all the time. But for FinCon, we're covering a lot of platforms from a beginner, intermediate, and advanced level. And so to go too niche, while we think it's really great, there may be only a handful of people that actually need that topic. And so it's just not a good fit for us.
These really great sessions sort of thread this needle of it speaks to a wide audience about a topic that is helpful for many people, but gives some very specific or innovative and new ways to achieve those goals. It's, so that's where like the more niche or focused thing came in, was like, it might be this topic many people have spoken on before, but here's like a new way of doing it, or the most efficient way of doing it, or how I've done it, and including my own story and my own experience adds so much value to that.
And also keeping in mind that still on the topic of like podcasting, we have one track for podcasting. So that means we have usually around 8 sessions total on podcasting. So when we're looking at what covers beginner, intermediate, advanced, and what speaks to the most, but is also not just the same track we did last year, but also may include some similar things. So it's like this puzzle piece that we put together. And while the niche content is really cool and we would love to use it, it's not always going to be able to fit when you only have 8 sessions on that particular track.
All right, let's get down to some of the nuts and the bolts of the application process. We've already talked about what makes a great proposal. If you want to apply, I'm going to say it one more time, finconexpo.com/speak has all the details. If you scroll to the bottom, big yellow button, apply here. It's going to bump you over to the application. Jessica, can you submit more than one proposal?
Absolutely. Said it before, I'll say it again. You can submit as many as you have the time and energy to submit. If you want to hedge your bets to get in somewhere, submit multiples. But yes, you can submit more than one. We will only usually select you to speak in one spot. We try to spread the love as far and wide as possible. So you may have submitted 10 and you are selected to speak on the one where we need you the most. But yes, you're welcome to submit as many as you want to.
Right. And again, as a reminder, if you're submitting for a panel, that's a moderator plus 4 panelists. And the moderator needs to make the initial submission, and then the 4 panelists use the same title and description when they fill out the form.
A lot of times one person will make a proposal for a panel and they'll say these people are going to be on the panel with them, and they either have just loosely talked to them, or they haven't talked to them at all, or they say, I'll find people for it. We won't consider a panel until the moderator and the 4 panelists have all submitted their own proposal. They can copy and paste the title and the blurb of what it's about, but everyone has to submit it. Everyone has to agree to the speaker agreement in there, because we want to know, are you all willing to mentor? Are you willing to be the speaker pro mixer? Are you all here and all in on this topic? So those are things that are also really helpful if we're the good proposals.
When you fill out your speaker application form, there's some fine print. It has some important things in there. So don't just be scrolling. It's asking you to agree to some things if you are selected as a speaker. What is in that fine print?
What's in the fine print are things that I mentioned already, that you're agreeing to serve as a mentor to another person in the community. You're also letting us know the areas where you can mentor in your application. You're also being asked to attend the Speaker Pro Mixer that will take place, I think, on Thursday night, which is beneficial for you, as well as you collaborating and getting in there and mixing with other people. It's also letting you know compensation. So while we don't pay our speakers, we do offer complimentary passes to some speaking on some levels, and then all the way to discounted for those who are speaking on other levels. So all of that is in the fine print. And it also tells you that we do not work with third parties. So your assistant or your PR rep or your agent can't make the application for you. We want people who, again, want to be engaged in the community and want to be a part, and we don't have a VIP culture. And so we want to work with you if you want to speak at FinCon. So all of that is in that fine print that you sign off sign off on at the very beginning of the application. So we've set it up front. Here's what we're looking for.
Right. You will know if you're selected. We are going to do multiple announcements of breakout speakers. So this process is going to open. There's going to be an end date that you'll see on the application. And the selection committee will start meeting, start making selections. And they'll do that in several rounds. Number one, because it's just a big old job. So it's no like these people are better because they're in one round or versus the other. It's just a lot of applications to wade through. So those will be announced in 2 or 3 rounds up from the time applications are received until the event in September. And you'll be notified if you're selected. You'll be notified if you aren't selected towards the end. Again, all these details, everything you need to know is at finconexpo.com/speak. Jessica, any last words for people wanting to apply to speak?
Good luck. And we look forward to seeing what you submit. This is always really fun. It's fun to see who submits, what topics and ideas they have, what ways they've grown since the year before because of things that they've learned that they want to share with the community. All those things they're really fun to see. It's a long, tedious process. So I do want to reiterate, the rounds have nothing to do with like preference for us. It is literally a puzzle. And all these pieces have to be gone through and put together. So good luck and please submit all you would like to.
Yep. finconexpo.com/speak.